say your first crush is like a car accident. You never see it coming, but when it does, there is a lot of glass breaking, shattering, and you are left lying there wondering, what on earth just happened? Let's all just admit it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. We have all been there. That one person who made your heart do Olympic level gymnastics while your brain completely forgot how to function. In my case, I didn't just like him. No, I turned liking him into a full-time, unpaid internship with no benefits, no payment, nothing, and absolutely zero returns. CC Evaluator and my fellow Gavaliers, today I am going to take you all on a grand adventure of my romantic catastrophe and the one survival guide that I came up with to get over the whole thing. So let's get into it. Stage 1, the delusion phase. Now the symptoms of having a first crush is selective hearing. Your ears, they don't hear reality anymore. They hear what they want to hear. For an example, if he looked at me and said, "You're weird," my brain would have gone, "Oh my gosh, he thinks I'm different. He sees something special in me. We are basically engaged." And everything literally becomes a sign. If he walks past me, that wasn't walking. That was a slow motion romantic entrance. If we made eye contact for 0.5 seconds, clearly we had a moment. And don't even get me started on social media. If he likes your post at 3 a.m., was it slightly concerning behavior? No. It was destiny working overtime. At that point, I wasn't even a student anymore. I was a full-time detective, gathering evidence, finding clues, building theories. But the problem was, there was no case, no mystery. Just me slowly building my self-worth around a person who barely knew I existed. Okay, stage 2, the grand reveal. So now, after months and months and months of overanalyzing, I decided it is time. It is time for me to be brave. In my head, this moment was going to be cinematic, like in those movies. Wind blowing, hair flipping, background music rising. I would bravely confess my feelings. He would be stunned. And then we would both realize this was meant to be the end. But reality? In reality, there was no wind, no hair flipping, just me sweating through my shirt, unable to form complete sentences, and delivering a confession that probably sounded like a poorly written ransom note. And then his response, the classic, "You're a great friend, but..." Now let me tell you all something very important. But is not just a word. It's the most dangerous word in the entire English language. It's the delete button of romance. Everything before it, gone. I didn't hear great friend. I heard you are not enough. And that is the scary part about having a crush, because without even realizing, I have given so much power over to another person about how I feel about myself. Stage 3, the glow down. Now this is the part no one talks about honestly, because heartbreak is not poetic. It's not standing in the rain while sad music fills in the background dramatically. It's eating cereal at midnight straight from the box. and asking the same question over and over and over again. Was it my personality or was it my face that made him reject me? Because at one point you have given that person so much power and you decide your value based on their opinion about yourself. But then something I realized after a few days of this whole thing, because after all that drama, nothing actually happened. You know, the sun rose, life went on, everything was fine. And then I realized maybe my value didn't, go down because I got rejected. Maybe all this time I have been measuring my value against the wrong person. And that is when rejection started to feel less painful. Because the only thing that died in me was my terrible taste in men. Now, stage 4. So, in stage 4, this was my turning point. This is when I finally started to realize things a little clearer. Because in life, at some point, you stop asking, why did I get rejected? And you start asking, why did I give so much power to that person? Like he was the judge and I was on trial. Because let's all be honest, a crush sometimes make you feel small, make you shrink yourself. But rejection does something powerful. All this time you have been accepting the bare minimum. You take breadcrumbs and you call it a feast. But once you get rejected, you break that illusion. You realize that your power, your worth, your value should not be, decided by a person who can't even see it. So after that whole journey of, very roller coaster of a journey, I came up with a rule, a 2 weeks rule. It's a survival guide. Basically, if you get rejected, it's fine. You're allowed to be dramatic about it for 2 weeks. You can cry, you can listen to sad songs, you can write notes, poetry which will never be delivered to them. You can tell your best friend the same story around 50 times. You can tell your pet how no one understands you. It's fine, fully commit to it. But on day 15, you wake up, you brush the crumbs off your shirt, you look at yourself in the mirror and you remind yourself, your value never decreased because one person rejected you. And honestly guys, if a person can't see how amazing we all are, clearly they need an eye exam, right? And we don't date people who have poor vision. So, your first crush, your second crush, your third crush, rejecting you doesn't define your value, but how you walk away from it, now that does. Thank you.